Can you hear Rudolph, everybody? He's on his way. Hello, everybody. Happy Christmas. It's nearly time to open all your presents from underneath the tree or in the pillows or the Santa sacks or wherever you keep them. So what's Santa bringing you this year, Susie?
Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't really ask for anything. So, I wonder.
Have you been a good girl?
Well, no.
Well, he's bound to bring you extra things this year then. So I had the idea of having a conversation about some of the things that people put under Christmas trees. So a lot of the times people don't have the awareness that what they're wrapping and putting under the tree is actually could be potentially dangerous, and not only dangerous but fatal to their animals. Because if you've got chocolate wrapped up, you know, like grandmas and grandpas love to wrap up lollies and sweeties and chocolates and goodies and put them under the tree with all good intentions. And it's a bit of a sad story because I have a friend who has a beagle, and if any of you know beagles, dogs, they are brilliant at sniffing out food. That's why they have long ears, so they don't listen to anybody, and their nose is totally 100% on the attention of smelling something yummy. So please be aware of what you put within dogs' reach and cats' reach, and maybe your goldfish's reach under the tree too.
So I like the goldfish reaching.
That's this year's handy
hint. Well, actually, you know, one of the things that I have to say, and I grew up at a time when we actually had candles on our Christmas tree, like real candles, which is so cool. Like it looks so different than those electric things. But, you know, one year we had our dog actually set his tail on fire.
Oh, no.
He was quite large, and so it sizzled some of his tail. And you know, I mean, it just went so fast, as you can imagine. I mean, nothing happened. He didn't really injure himself, but he was a Saint Bernard. I mean, sorry, it's a Burmese mountain dog, but so he had like that same like long hair like a Saint Bernard. And so it just went, you know, and I remember that. And then, of course, if you have a cat, they love to play with all the stuff you're hanging in the tree. So you might actually find your cat really hanging in the tree. So also being aware of what is it that you're putting in the tree, because the whole tree might fall if your cat starts venturing on those branches, you know. And it's like, hey, it's not just about that. It's really just be aware in a way of, what are we doing, you know, and are we creating it for everybody so everyone has fun and not creating havoc for ourselves, you know, because it's also not so much fun if your whole tree tips over.
Yeah, and the other thing too of just including your animals. I mean, I think there's so much excitement if your family are getting together, if you're having a big deal, you know, be aware that some of your dogs or cats might want some alone time. They may not really want to enjoy all the family fun and festivities and the noises and the crackers banging, and just be aware that they might like to have their own space away from that festivities, and being aware of, you know, kids giving dogs and cats turkey and potatoes and stuffing and everything else on the table. That's fine. And just be aware of what the animals end up eating. If your dog's tummy looks very round at the end of the day, he may not require dinner. Here's a few sausages that the grandkids have fed the dog for the day because it's Christmas, right?
Exactly. Everybody should have fun on Christmas.
Exactly. So yeah, not to be a downer for everybody, but it's just really, you know, this is about including your animals in the Christmas gig. But remember, they don't do the whole emotion thing that we do. So just be aware of them, include them in your day, and just respect what they're asking for.
Yeah. And to really also avoid any kind of conflict, because like Viv is saying, you know, some animals really have a hard time. And even one of our listeners is saying, you know, she likes to have her alone time too during her festivities. And I get it, you know, sometimes you just need a little space. And I have literally heard from people who's had really sweet, sweet, sweet dogs. And the dog all of a sudden was nipping at some kid, or somebody because it was too much, and the dog just didn't have any space to hide or, enjoy himself on his bed without being disturbed. So really just maybe it might be a good idea to bring out the good old crate, or just have a little barrier somewhere where your animals basically are in another room where people are off limits or whatever it might be. And this is not to exclude them, but to actually give them the space that they require. And your animals best, but just also keep an eye on them, like Viv was saying, like, what are the kids doing that are coming? Are they pestering your animals? Are they used to that? Like all that kind of stuff that really can make all these festivities a little bit go sideways when it really doesn't have to be like that. And what can you really do to provide ease for everybody, Yeah.
And that's a great point, Susie, because again, having children over that may not be familiar with animals, they think it's fun to annoy the dog or chase the cat, or just, again, be aware of that.
Take the goldfish out of the bowl.
Here, Mum, look what I've got. Flap, flap, flap. Oh, he's flapped on the floor. Whoops. And also,
we're bad.
If you've had a little bit too much Christmas fare, take yourself out for the walk and take the dog as well, because that's another great way just to move your body on Christmas Day. So be aware of what the animal may be asking you to contribute and provide too. So what are you up to for Christmas Day, Susie?
Actually, Christmas Day is probably going to be pretty chill. Like, I live pretty far away from people, and it's going to be pretty chill. But Christmas Eve here in Santa Fe is like a little bit of a walk where people enjoy the lights and everything. So they put a whole block so you can't drive through, and all the stores are open, and they're putting out cider, and there's caroling and all kinds of things. So it's usually a pretty kind of nice place. But even that, it's so interesting. Like, every year I see people bring their dog there. And sometimes it's so tight there that even people almost step on each other's feet. And then sometimes I see these dogs that are literally almost being stepped on. And I wonder, is it really a contribution to bring your animal to something like that? I mean, would I love to spend Christmas with my dog? Absolutely. But if it's really at the cost of having a lot of maneuvering to do, where you're constantly only looking at the dog, are you doing yourself a favor? Are you doing your dog a favor? Are you doing the people that you're going out with a favor? They want to probably spend time with you. And if you're then constantly worried about your dog, you're not that much fun either, So have a look at that, because your dog might enjoy staying home with like a chew toy more so than walking through a really crowded environment or, stuff like that. So
yeah, I often, from that perspective too, imagine putting yourself on four paws at the height of your dog and looking through everybody's legs and feet. That sometimes gives people a totally different perspective of what the dog is actually dealing with, because remember, you're up here probably having a good time with the dog on the end of the lead, but be aware of the dog's universe and what they're being put into. So what's a kindness to you this season, this festive season? What's a kindness to your animals this festive season? See, we did have some things to talk about, Susie.
I know. Well, what are you doing for Christmas? I mean, you're in Australia and it's warm there, which always kind of spins me out a little bit. I definitely grew up in places where Christmas was in the cold season, but I know for you guys it's the opposite. It's summer. So what are you up to?
Yeah, it's almost the height of summer here. So we're going to be having, I don't know, it'll be 90 degrees Fahrenheit, close to probably 30, 35 centigrade. So yeah, definitely bikini weather. We're taking a pile of food out to my brother-in-law's, as I call him, to his farm. And we're going to swim in his pool that he's just had made, where the animals can just take themselves off and lie under a cool tree. And we're going to have lots of yummy food. We're going to be having prawns on the barbie.
Nice. That sounds wonderful.
Which is very Australian.
Another thing, I mean, if you do have a barbecue, of course, probably you won't have one if you're at minus 20 degrees weather. But but again, another place to be aware of, what are your animals doing? Because I have seen dogs that put their paws on the barbecue to get that steak, and um, got the steak, but also some burned feet in the process. So being aware of all these different areas where your animals could get themselves into trouble, and it's really easy. And also, what I thought of earlier too is, some of the Christmas wrapping nowadays is also maybe not super friendly if it's being chewed on or even eaten. And you have to be aware, like your cats might really enjoy grabbing some ribbon and playing with the ribbon. And is that made out of material that, is going to be okay? Or if they wrap themselves in ribbon by accident, just kind of, it's just silly stuff. And really, we don't want to be the people putting the Grinch into Christmas here, but just kind of being aware. Like, this is always the thing, like, be aware what's going on. Don't turn yourself off from your awareness just because a lot is going on, and and it's Christmas and you don't really want to deal with it. But just be aware. And it's not, oh, I have to be cautious all day long. No, just stay aware. If you hear a noise, don't brush it off. Go like, oh, what was that? Like, if you're being pinged, the universe will let you know. Yeah, animals will let you know if they're in distress. But if you turn off your awareness, you might not notice. And that's the place where we're just trying to get you to go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, maybe these two crazy ladies the other day, maybe they had a point.
The one with the Christmas tree and the one with the reindeer ears.
Right? My little Christmas tree, isn't it cute?
Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. The other thing I just had a ping on too, when you were talking about the Barbie, a friend of mine's dog burnt the end of his nose trying to grab a T-bone off the barbecue. So, and that's the other thing. Dogs particularly are opportunists. If they can smell something in your garbage bin that might have been left over from Christmas Day, just be aware of that as well, because we're just trying to help you be aware of avoiding anything that doesn't have to be. So just, what would it take for your awareness to be switched on and for you to thoroughly enjoy this Christmas more than any other Christmas you've ever had?
Yay! I like that idea. Yay!
What would it take for 2023 to be greater than we can all imagine?
Yay!
Anything else for our listeners today, Susie?
No, I think that's all. We just wanted to have a little fun here and, wreck your Christmas. That's all.
We could have made that Christmas a whole lot better. I just had the horrible thought, if any of you are familiar with prawns, have those little spiky things at the front of their head. They're like really sharp. If ever you've peeled a big prawn or a shrimp, you might call them. They've got those real sharp, pointy things. And yeah, you wouldn't want your cats or dogs getting into those. So
yeah,
that's for the Australian viewers, or for the Antipodean viewers of today, not the Northern Hemisphere people.
Well, the Northern Hemisphere people have to also be aware a little bit of the bones, that might be left over from turkey, or in Europe a lot of times it's goose. A lot of people eat goose for Christmas. And so sometimes it's birds, big birds. And of course, as you know, when you are cooking bones, they're not the greatest for your animals. And then especially bones from birds, they can splinter quite easily. So you want to be aware of that, and not leave that around. Again, our big Burmese mountain dog one time took the entire carcass and ate the whole thing, and he was okay, but he
lived to tell the story, to set his tail on fire the following Christmas. He was quite an adventurous dog.
He was.
What was his name, Susie?
Dino.
Dino.
Yeah, wow. Dino. That was his name. Oh my God. We had a lot of adventures with him.
They remind me of, I don't know if he is like like the St. Bernard dog. Was he similar to that?
Yeah, he is. He was like a Burmese mountain dog, which They look very similar to a Saint Bernard. They're almost the same size, but they're black. And then they have like a white little forehead, and then they have some golden between the black and the white. So there's like a little golden, and they have like usually golden eyebrows.
Oh.
And they were like a Swiss dog for cow herding. So they came from Switzerland, and yeah, so he had the coat of a Saint Bernard and almost the size of one for sure. And so yeah, he was a pretty big goofball. And yeah, he did a lot of things throughout his life that were very interesting.
Do you know something I've always wanted to do is write a book on the funniest stories, you know, like that kind of thing, the things that dogs and cats get up to. That would be such a crack up, you know, to have on your doctor's surgeries or on your dentist surgeries of people where they're about to, you know, they're kind of going through a bit of anxiety, but to pick up one of these books and just read a quick short story on Dino the Burmese mountain dog. I think we should create that, Susie. We would have enough
could be fun.
stories. We'd have
Yeah,
enough
I
stories
would
to do
say
an
so.
encyclopedia.
Probably true.
Well, here's
Yeah.
wishing everybody happy Christmas from Talk to the Animals and myself, Viv Adcock, and
Susie Gazzi. Enjoy your holiday, make the best of it, and yay, embrace your animals. And please, it's still a few days for the holidays to come, and so ask your animals to contribute to this being the best time ever. Ask them to contribute to you having lots of money. And you know, what else could you ask for from your furry friends that you haven't been willing to receive?
I've got a very quick story. I know we're about to wrap up, but I've had this client that I've worked with for, I don't know, a number of years, and she's just had a baby about 6 months ago, and she was pregnant all the way, you know, through IVF, and went through IVF using the tools of access consciousness. She fell pregnant. She gave birth. This baby's now 6 months old, called Angus, and he told her he went to sit on Santa's lap for the first time the other day, and at 6 months old, he told Santa he wanted a pony. That next day, they went to a friend's quick gathering before Christmas, and she said, "Oh, are you guys looking for a pony? I'm looking for a home for a pony. He's a great little pony, blah, blah, blah." And I went, "How's that for instant creation? This 6-month-old baby's created a pony within 24 hours.
Wow, that's amazing. And to even at 6 months know that you want a pony, that's pretty wild. Wow.
So I think I might start increasing my ask. I think I better write my Santa letter very quickly. We've only got a few days, Susie.
Right? That's so true. Good idea. Thank you for that story. That's really cool.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Susie, for being an amazing person and inspiration for the animal kingdom. Mwah! Everybody.
Mwah. Thank you, Viv, and we'll see you all soon.
Happy Christmas.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Is it